Now for the second example, we're going to do the problem 3 1/2 divided by 3/4. Our first step says to find a common denominator. To do this method visually, and our common denominator here again would be a 4. I'm going to change the denominator here to 4 and the numerator to 2. So my problem, now rewritten with common denominators, says 3 2/4 divided by 3/4. Now I need to visually model 3 2/4 divided by 3/4. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3 holes and 2/4, which means that each of these needs to be divided into groups of 4, but that is my common denominator. So I'm going to divide each piece into 4 groups. Now, to model 3 2/4, I must shade in the entirety of this hole, the first hole, the second hole, and the third hole. By the way, each of those holes is 4 out of 4. And then I'm going to shade 2 out of 4. Now I have completely shaded in 3 1/2 or 3 2/4 in my model. Below this model, I am going to model the fraction 3/4. So I'm going to draw a hole, but I will not be able to shade the hole. I simply need to split it into 4 bars. And I need to shade, and I'll do this with a different color, I'll do this with red. I'm going to shade in 1, 2, 3 bars with red. Okay, so now you can visually see that I need to see if I laid the red bars on top of the blue bars, how many sets would there be? So I'm going to define a set as this set of 3, and I'm going to go above and say how many of these, this represents 3/4, are in the 3 2/4. So I'm going to circle each set of 3. Here's my first set of 3, so that's my first set. My second set of 3, my second set, my third set of 3, my fourth set of 3, and then I have a little dilemma here. I don't have a set of 3 here. What I'm going to do is circle it as if I had a set of 3, and then I'm going to look at it and say, nope, that's not another set, but it is 2 out of 3 of another set because there are 2 shaded and 1 not shaded. So I'm going to say this is kind of like having a remainder. It's not a whole group, but it's 2/3 of another, 2/3 of one more. So all in all, if I look at a distance, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 whole sets plus 2/3 of another, which means that altogether I have, from the visual method, I see that I have 4 2/3 sets of 3/4 in 3 1/2. Back to my original problem. We know that our answer says that that is how many sets of 3/4 we have in 3 1/2. To check myself with the keep it, change it, flip it model, we simply come down and say, okay, 3 1/2 divided by 3/4. I'm going to keep my first fraction, which I first need to convert to an improper. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 7 over 2. I'm going to keep the first fraction, change the sign from division to multiplication, flip the second fraction. 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 3 is 6. Now I have to do the math here, and I have to say, how many times will 6 go into 28? It will go 4 whole times, with a remainder of 4. So that fraction becomes 4 4/6, which reduces to 4 2/3. Here again, our answer from the keep it, change it, flip it model matches exactly with our answer from the visual model. So we have here again proven that we can show visual models for fraction division for the problem 3 1/2 divided by 3/4.